That's right. Coming up, your daily health check kicks off and we talk about the immunoboosting properties. Welcome to Body and Soul on 938 Live. Good day, everybody. Daniel Martin here. And you know what time it is, of course. It's time for us to continue our health series on chlorella. Thank you so much. I know you're enjoying it and enjoying our discussions with our guest. You hear him every Monday with me on the program. Associate Professor Haresh Kumar joins us from the Faculty of Medicine at Masa University College in KL, Malaysia. Now, Dr. Haresh has a background in areas of research in microbiology, medical science, and nutrition. And he joins us to share his expertise and experience on different aspects of your health that perhaps you've not been paying enough attention to. In today's edition, we're going to be talking about your immune system and what you can do to boost your immune system. All part of our ongoing series, of course, on one of nature's powerhouses, the superfood known as chlorella. By the way, what is chlorella exactly? Well, it's a naturally occurring algae and well regarded for its health benefits. During this series, the Chlorella Health Series on Body and Soul, we're going to be looking at the various aspects of chlorella, what exactly it is, how it helps potentially in deficiencies in health, things like hypertension and whatnot, and what's been missing from your diet and healthy lifestyle. Today, as I said, we're going to be talking about your immune system and the immunoboosting aspects that you can start including in your life. I want you to call in if you have any questions. The number that you can dial through to on is 669-11938, 669-11938. This edition of Body and Soul is brought to you by abeilledor Chlorella. For more information, please call 6339-5045. That's 6339-5045. Dr. Haresh, welcome back to the program. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning. Good morning, Singapore.
Let's start off talking about the idea of immune system and the immunoboosting properties of various aspects that we can eat and include in our diet. Let's talk about the immune system first off. Is it something that we're all naturally born with and everybody has the same immune system, so to speak?
Okay. Basically, all of us are born with an immune system, but there are two types of immune system. One is the innate immune system that all of us are born with, and the second one is the adaptive immune system, that what we obtain, as we go through life, what we pick up, as we go through life. And basically, we must always understand that all individuals are different when it comes to the immune system. Everybody is blessed with a different level of immunity, so it's not the same.
So is that why some people always, catch a flu a little bit easier or, get ill a little bit more?
Exactly. Some people are born with a stronger respiratory immune system. Some people are born with a stronger gastrointestinal immune system. Some people are overall born with a very weak immune system. They pick up infection very, very easily.
Dr. Haresh, what is the main purpose? How does the immune system work to fight off disease?
So basically, the immune system works by two different methods. One is the humoral immunity, where it's all about substances which are involved in cells which are involved in the immune system, which is in the blood. So we call it humoral. This is where we have the B cells. And the other one is the cell-mediated immunity. Now, this cell-mediated immunity is more to combat what we call virus-infected cells, cancer cells, and this is related to T cells. So basically, our main immune system is we have got our T cells and our B cells. This is the adaptive immunity. Besides that, we also have our innate immunity that all of us are born with. Example, in our saliva, we have got lysozyme. In our tears, we have lysozyme. In our gastric juice, we have got hydrochloric acid. Now, this is innate immunity that everyone actually has.
So that's usually in the frontline areas, really, where food is entering your mouth or when food is being digested.
Exactly. The one that I talked about, innate immunity, is the one that we have the first line defense. So once the virus or bacteria can go through the first line defense, then they have to encounter the second line defense.
So Dr. Haresh, what accounts for the fact that as time progresses, we see our immune system decreasing in some ways?
Yeah, that's a very true thing, because as time goes on, aging is one thing that makes immunity becomes weaker and weaker normally, Now, it's very important to know that a person who is about 15 years old, 19 years old, immunity is much, much more stronger compared to a person who is about 65 years old. Now, this is very important because as you grow older, your body's store of antioxidants, of natural antioxidants, will begin to deplete. Okay, so once your antioxidant store begin to deplete, that is one way you pick up infection easily. And the other thing is your overall immunity, your B cells, T cells, macrophages, phagocytes, okay, all of these cells, the efficiency begin to slowly decrease as you age.
So it does slowly start decreasing.
Exactly. After 25, the natural antioxidant store will slowly deplete. So if you do not give enough of intake every day, you can see the aging process become slowly. You can slowly see the aging process coming out one by one.
Now, you've also mentioned to me that in the past, especially, that processed foodstuffs, especially, are having some kind of impact on our immune system?
Exactly. Now, those with a lot of processed food with a lot of preservatives, additives, coloring agents, flavorings. Now, these are all the things which actually These are actually all of the things that actually reduce the effectiveness of your immune system. Okay, and also sugar, refined carbohydrates. Okay, partially hydrogenated and hydrogenated products. Now, all of these actually reduce the efficacy of the immune system.
So cut out the trans fats altogether. That's
exactly.
an important thing.
Maybe we can't cut off, but what we can actually do, we can at least reduce. We can reduce to a certain extent. That is very important. What we need is all natural fruits, vegetables. Okay, this is what we need. We need to improve probiotics. Now, all of this is what we need to improve. Okay, to make our immune system on an alert mode constantly.
More tips coming up from Dr. Haresh on what you can do to boost your immune system. Dr. Haresh, we know that there have been so-called, big outbreaks recently. Of course, we're familiar with H1N1, influenza outbreak. There was the SARS issue. There was avian flu and whatnot. All these things, are they challenging our immune system in wholly different ways?
Exactly. Now, all these things are actually, they do challenge our immune system. Now, basically what we need is actually, we need to make sure that our immune system is always on an alert mode. That will be very important, because in case, okay, we never know that tomorrow H2N2 might come out. So actually what is the most important thing here is some of these infections are not that particularly serious. Okay, now H1N1 and H2N2 and all, they may not be very serious. Okay, so the most important thing, but if the person is immunocompromised, now the word immunocompromised means if the person's immune system does not perform as well as the optimal immune system. So now when your immune system, okay, is immunocompromised, then things like H1N1 can be quite dangerous, because it can cause a lot of complications. So what is most important is to work from the inside out. That means to strengthen and maintain the immune system, so we are constantly protected from all toxins, all pathogens, okay, that the environment, okay, that we are exposed to every day. So this is very important, because we do not know when another epidemic might happen, and we do not know what is the next food in the next restaurant or what we're going to eat that may cause an infection.
Most certainly, every one of us does not want to be immunocompromised at any stage. I'm certain of that. Let's go to the phone lines, Dr. Haresh, and take some of calls from our listeners right now. We've got Amy joining us. Amy, hello.
Hello, good morning. I just wanted to ask if allergies are in any way related to the body's immune system, please.
That is a very good question, Amy. Thank you very much. Dr. Haresh, the idea of allergies, are they linked to your immune system, or a weak immune system maybe?
Exactly. Allergy is actually very much related to the immune system. Now, basically, there are 5 types of antibodies, okay, in the human system. Now, one of the antibodies, now the clinical term for antibody is immunoglobulin. Now, one of the antibodies known as immunoglobulin type E, okay, is related to allergic reactions. Now, basically, when there's an allergic reaction, what happens is there is an excessive production of immunoglobulin E. Okay, it's really excessively produced during an allergic reaction. Okay, and once IgE is produced, okay, it will bind to the mast cells. Okay, this is a bit more technical. It binds to the mast cells, and that's where it causes the mast cells to release a lot of histamines. Okay, once we have a lot of histamine released, we can see a lot of inflammation, and we can see a lot of allergic reactions coming out. Like suddenly a rash happens, we have got running nose and sneezing and watery eyes. Now all of this happens during an allergic reaction. So basically, allergic reaction is very much related to the immune system.
So basically what we can say as well is that if we boost our immune system, we technically could fend off certain allergies?
Exactly. So what you need to do is basically you have to boost your immune system. Okay, number one, definitely have to boost your immune system. Now coming back to the topic of today. Now studies have shown that chlorella, daily consumption of chlorella and also the other part of chlorella known as the chlorella growth factor. Now both of these together will suppress the excessive production of immunoglobulin E, which is actually involved in allergic reactions.
Let's find out more about that role and that process of what you can do to boost your immune system and how chlorella, the naturally occurring algae, can play a part as well. Stay with us on Body and Soul.